welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the crazy but true stories that always seem to come out of Florida. How's it going?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Hello.
It's been
Pretty
a good
good
week.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part so far, Cameron?
The fact that I've made it this far through this week.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but
Pretty busy.
a little crazy.
Pretty busy.
But it's nice to be here tonight with
In the
my
studio,
buddies.
live.
all three of y'all.
Not live to y'all, but live to us.
It's live to us because we're living it.
And we are in VR tonight, everybody. So we all are wearing VR goggles
Yes.
and in front of a stage full of people.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you all for coming
thank
tonight.
you for showing up, everybody.
All of our shirts are off.
Yeah, I didn't imagine we'd get this big of a crowd. But
yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah, it's humbling. Thank
Truly.
you.
And everybody got in free because we're not collecting any money for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know they
we're
were
not
showing
good
up.
businessmen.
But hopefully we can collect money from these potential sponsors that approached me.
Okay. Did they approach you this week?
A middle of the week, yeah.
And you didn't text us?
Well, I like to bring unique things to the podcast.
That's true.
Since I have nothing else, I just take mail and
From other people.
and act like it's new and refreshing.
Who do
new
we have?
and noteworthy. So we were approached by a few different companies.
Okay.
You guys, we don't have to say yes to all of them,
Okay.
but
I mean, that takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, I already said yes to all of them.
Okay.
Okay. That's fine.
That's why we don't have to.
We need the money.
Yes, absolutely. So the first one was Janet's Puppy Mill and Dog Rental Depot.
Dog rental depot?
Yeah, they rent to own puppies.
Rent a dog for a day?
Yeah. Well, they say daily and hourly rates
Right.
because Instagram and Facebook posts with puppies are really
That's, sometimes
popular.
you just
True.
need
Okay.
a dog for an hour.
Yeah, but they churn these puppies out.
Good.
So they're
So they're productive.
yep,
Okay.
and they're offering us a discounted rate if we want to rent a puppy.
Okay.
So
So we accept.
So we don't even get a free puppy for a day.
no,
It's just a discount.
I mean, it's every afternoon we can come visit the puppy play park
Okay.
and take photos.
So that's going to be showing up on our Instagram this week.
Yes, yes. And another company, I don't know if y'all remember a couple of years ago, there was that website you could go on if you were married, but you wanted to have
okay.
an extramarital affair.
Plenty of fish.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like that. Ashley Madison,
Okay.
their new slogan is "Remarried yet?"
Okay.
Perfect,
I haven't
clever.
been. No.
And then they put YOLO, YOLO.
Now they caught the Duger guy, the Duger son.
Well, they got hacked, but they informed me that they hired those hackers.
Oh,
To
okay. So
protect-
they're safe now.
Yeah,
So they're one of our sponsors.
and they
Well,
assume that.
potential. They want to be.
Well, I mean, they gave us free accounts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have a puppy meal and AshleyMadison.com.
Yes. Well, that third one.
Okay.
They're called Vice Capades,
Okay.
and they are it's
I don't know if I like where this one's
it's
going.
it's a lock-in at the Civic Center.
Okay.
It's an interactive sin-filled evening on ice. So they said there's no seating. All attendees will be required to be wearing at least ice skates.
Okay. That's fine.
So no sitting. You have to skate all night.
No viewers, only participants. And the ice rink will be locked from the outside from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Okay, safety first. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Can't get out.
Vice Capades at the Civic Center.
Okay.
They gave us free tickets. We only have to mention them until January when it happens.
All right, that seems
Yeah,
fair.
I will go to that.
Yeah,
With bells on.
Bells on your skates. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lock in at the Civic
I
Center.
might take my puppy to that.
That's a great
I might rent
idea.
a puppy for that night.
Hello.
Hey, and then we can log into AshleyMadison.com, bring a date.
Amen.
I think we just wrapped them all up.
YOLO, YOLO.
So if our wives are listening,
Uh-oh.
we did it for the money.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We had to.
So those were
Did
the
you
three.
guys tell your wives that you did this podcast?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
She would never listen.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't tell my wives, my plural wives.
Just one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you Mormon.
Hey, come on. This is a comedy historical Florida podcast.
That's true.
All right. So I was sweating a little bit, but I'm glad that you didn't say that we were sponsored by Uber Eats,
Why?
because that's what my headline's about.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
So, have you guys ever ordered Uber Eats?
All the time.
Not that brand specifically.
I know we've done a couple other ones,
Yeah.
but I don't think we've ever done
The
Uber
Schwann's
Eats.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Meals on Wheels.
What's the steak company? Omaha Steaks.
Yeah.
All right, so an Uber Eats customer was expecting his delivery of Japanese food this weekend, and he did get it, but he also got a little something extra in the bag as well.
Okay. Wayne, you want to take a guess?
A puppy.
Oh, man. Hold
Nope.
on.
He
If
didn't
it's
rent a puppy.
Japanese food, what
Got a
goes
little
with
something
it?
extra in his bag.
Sake
Okay, could be.
or kimono?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He's not too far off. So Leo, his first name's Leo. He didn't want to give his last name. This is the man that ordered the food, got the food. He opened up his bag of food, and at first he saw the food, but he thought he saw a really fancy napkin. He's like, "Oh wow, this place is really high class." He was
Like in a
visiting.
crane.
He was in Miami.
Nice.
So he was there visiting. He's like, "They do fancy napkins. That's
They
kind
do.
of new for
Miami's
delivery."
known for fancy napkins.
They are.
Well, he figured out it was a pair of underwear with a bunch of dookie in it.
What?
What's the benefit in ordering that from a?
Okay,
So-
was it from the restaurant or it was the Uber Eats
Well,
driver?
the Uber Eats driver pulled up.
Okay.
He met her outside of his hotel.
Okay. I'm wondering
I can't get over
the
this one.
timeline of this one is really tricky.
So
Because I've crapped my pants just like everybody here.
Right.
he
It's a process. I mean, you're not taking a layer off and then putting an undergarment in. And did he have to eat the Japanese out of that?
I think so.
I don't think he do it.
You can do it. We have to know the story
This guy, he
now.
always cracks up when it comes to underpants.
when I go on
stories.
vacation, I pack enough underwear. Like I plan on crapping my pants like every day of the
Daily,
trip.
yeah.
Yeah. I like 12 pairs of underwear for a 3-day trip. Mm-hmm. It's just natural. You never know when it's going to happen.
Well, you got those dissolvable ones for
I do.
some reason.
Yeah, because I care about the environment.
I guess so.
So
Let's hear this.
Uber Eats driver pulls up,
Okay.
hands him the bag.
Yeah.
She runs away instantly
Yeah.
because
she
I
kno-
thought it was really weird.
She knows what's in the bag.
So she definitely did it. Yeah, the Uber Eats picked up the food
A
from
female driver.
picked it up, and at some point, I don't know if she did it, had somebody do it, put some underwear in the bag with some feces in it.
I've been hit on in some weird ways.
Yeah.
Never had panties or bras tossed at me.
No, especially not ones like that.
Yeah, put in a to-go container.
So was there? I mean, this
Is there a
is
phone number or a name written in the undies?
Nope.
Was she
just the
arrested?
underwear. So this is the weird thing is he reported it to Uber Eats, the restaurant, and the police department, and they basically all said the same thing. We can't do anything about it.
What's the crime?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Uber Eats did finally put her on probation, I guess, or suspended her while they investigate.
Oh, I mean that's.
I mean, that should be automatic. Like,
What's the investigation
You're
look
out.
like? Is it like a DNA test or they go?
I would think so.
I don't know, but I mean, the thing about it is I wouldn't even order now. That makes me question like every delivery service,
Yeah,
'Cause that's gonna
what
scar-
happens from point A to point B.
Yeah,
right?
someone.
It's just gonna scar you for life. I mean, if you survive that,
I mean, I don't know what happens in their car, much less what they do with
yeah,
their food.
Yeah,
I don't.
Crapping your pants in your car is never comfortable.
That's the second week in a row we've had a story that had to involve some kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you got to
some kind
lift
of-
yourself off the seat while pushing the gas pedal because you don't want to sit in it while you.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an older headline.
Okay. Does it involve bowel movements?
I'm sure eventually, but not my story.
At some point tonight.
At some point, and it's just more of like a public service announcement because the men haven't been caught.
So they're still on the loose.
Yep. So 2014 Ocala Park, an ice cream man is going through the park. He's approached by 3 men,
Okay.
and they want to purchase a. What would you purchase? Obviously, an ice cream man. What kind of ice cream?
I always get.
You look at the stickers.
Yeah, I get the Mickey Mouse ones, with the chocolate ears.
Yeah, I'd say one of the cookie ice cream sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not a popsicle man.
No, they're
No.
gonna fall apart. I like the screwball.
I do always say that about Cameron though. He's not a popsicle man.
Not a popsicle.
I've
man.
always said
if
that.
you've seen him eat a popsicle, you know
Yeah.
he's not a popsicle man. That
No.
thing is all over the place.
Doesn't even, just first bite.
Yep.
It's gone.
Never.
Cheeks, it's like he's got red marks on his cheeks. It's the
You
weirdest
just never
thing.
know with popsicles.
Yeah. I'd get, thanks for asking. I'd get the pink screwball one with the bubble gum at the bottom.
Those are good.
Yeah.
The pictures are always faded.
Yes.
So they never get the colors right.
And they're all different size stickers. Or the Rocket Pop would be my second choice.
So what did this guy buy?
Man, this guy really knows his
Yeah.
popsicles.
I am a,
treats.
yeah. I love an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
They attempted to buy a pickled sausage.
Okay. So that
Was
wasn't
that on the
advertised.
menu?
Well, I don't know if it's on the menu, actually. I assume so.
Yeah. Okay.
But the driver couldn't accept the $20 bill that they attempted to buy the one pickled sausage with. So they got in an argument, and the three men pulled out a single gun.
Wait, so the three. Hold on.
sausage?
Wait a minute. So 3 men together held a gun.
I assume it's something
Or
like
3 men ordering one
triplets.
pickled sausage.
You know? Maybe triplets or conjoined triplets.
This is like a fever dream
Yeah. So they all pull out one gun.
on the
together.
driver
Yes.
because he didn't have pickled sausage.
Yeah.
The driver of the ice
Well,
cream
he
truck.
didn't
'Cause he
have,
didn't have
change,
change.
for the 20. So the driver wrestled him and
Crawl out the
I guess
window.
through the window. And they said that the driver was struck in the eye. And then the 3 men took off.
Struck in the eye with what? A bullet?
I don't know.
They were angry because he didn't have change for a 20, so he was actually selling pickled sausages out of the ice
I
cream
gotta
truck.
assume so. They take up small real estate in the ice cream truck. I mean, you're probably looking at square foot
Between
for a jug of pickled sausages.
Listen, the guy that owns an ice cream truck selling pickled sausages is also delivering doo-doo underwear.
It's
in
possible.
Japanese food. That's the same guy.
It's possible.
That's the same company.
So those guys are still out there.
We got to be careful.
So if you see 3 men in your vicinity and they request a pickled sausage, just give it up.
Yeah, hand it over. And just make sure you carry a change for 20 at all times.
I do.
They get really offended if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, public service announcement.
You're
I
welcome.
feel like we did well with those headlines as far as like keeping people up to date and also helping them just stay safe out there.
Yeah, and we're not saying don't buy pickled sausage
No.
or don't
No, we would
order
never say
Japanese
that.
food through Uber Eats. I mean, you just got to be careful when you do it.
Exactly.
Of the pickled products that are out on the market, which one would y'all not buy?
Just pickled pickles.
Pickled pickles?
Don't like them.
Wow, this is new. I don't know.
I would say that's the only thing I'd buy
Yeah,
is a pickled pickle.
pickled pickles definitely
Yeah,
number 1.
That's the safest bet.
pickled sausage number 2.
I mean, there's a lot of weird things that people pickle, like the chicken feet,
Oh yeah, and the pig's feet.
or is a pig's feet. There's,
Pig's feet.
This whole
Yeah.
episode's making me nauseous.
It's weird to see pickled pig's feet in a plastic jar.
yeah,
I feel like
next to your ice cream.
I feel
next
like
to
you're
your
doing
ice
you're doing vocal warm ups.
Pickled pig's feet in a plastic jar.
Unique New York.
Papa Bear.
Yeah, I just the pickled eggs. Some people do pickled
Pickled eggs. Yeah.
eggs. Just not a pickle man.
I don't like
You don't partake in pickles.
any of the foods that we've talked about. I don't like doo-doo Japanese. I don't like
Oh,
pickled
there's
foods.
a joke there. Poo poo platter. I got it.
Oh,
Took me a while. 10 minutes later.
there it is. If
The
that wasn't
poo-poo
the headline, then whoever wrote that article failed miserably.
Yeah, for real. Man orders poo poo platter.
That's really
Gets
good.
poo poo platter. I can hear the audience laughing right now.
Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an A+ joke. I feel
A
like
standing ovation. I don't think it's deserved. I
No, it is.
appreciate it, everyone.
take your bell.
Thank you.
You paid your dues.
All right. One person's holding up a sign that says "Take off your pants."
No, don't do that.
Okay.
So last week we covered Florida Cowboys.
Yeah,
Boom.
old bone.
Old Bone. And then we've got some other weird Florida history that's coming from around that same time frame, actually.
1492.
Yeah, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, but not in this story.
Oh,
This story is about a man named William Cottrell. Raise your
Okay.
hand.
Sounds real.
In the audience if you've heard of that before. Okay.
nobody.
Greg raised his hand, but he's just sleepy.
That's not a.
I've never
would he
done that
raise
when
his
I got
hand?
sleepy.
That is what he does. Greg's a weirdo. But William Cottrell was born April 17th, 1857 in Cedar Keys, Florida. And not much is known about his younger years, other than the fact that he was always involved in his
Woodworking, like Jesus.
Kind of, but in his hometown, like he was always around. So born and raised in Cedar Keys. and he was kind of an event planner, if that makes sense.
Wedding
yet.
planner. I've seen it.
Kind of. Well,
Yeah.
he organized things for the church, like dinners on the ground. There was a record of him organizing like baptism services down in the water. He actually did like food drives for underprivileged people, like welfare lines. And so he was so well known in the community and so well loved in the community that when like visiting dignitaries would come to Cedar Keys, he was the person rolling out the welcome mat.
Whoa.
So even though they had elected officials, William Cottrell was the one showing up at the gate going, "Hey, welcome to Cedar Keys. I'm William.
Nice.
Let me show you around." He was just that lovable of a guy.
I like him.
Yeah, everybody really enjoyed being around him. And so like there were just, records of visiting mayors and the governor coming.
Okay.
And they would leave and they were like, "That William, he's a good guy." Not
I think
not-
he's got an alternative.
You're there.
Motive.
You were there.
He's got a motive that's fishy.
Yeah. Well, I think.
I mean, it sounds like a setup.
Yeah. Well, I think one of his descendants ends up being Kim Cottrell, our favorite actress from Sex and the City,
One of my favorite shows, actually.
which is on HBO, one of our sponsors. Thank you, HBO.
Absolutely. Good to have you again sponsoring us. But so all of these things.
So is he genuinely a good guy, or is it?
Well,
I feel like it's a setup.
it could be. He was never elected to any of these
better not be.
positions. He was just kind of like unofficially nominated as the town spokesperson.
Okay. Like you snooze, you lose.
Exactly. But in 1885, William received his first elected position in Cedar Keys.
Nice.
He was the new inspector of customs.
Okay.
And I should note that he was elected unanimously to this
Wow.
position. So everybody in town voted for this guy to be the inspector of customs. And so what that position was, basically it was a law enforcement position where they just enforced the laws of trade. Yeah, imports and exports. So he oversaw all of that. Anything that came into Cedar Keys, anything that left Cedar Keys.
Big shipping town.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I mean,
Oh,
at the
yeah.
time it was a port town, so he was in charge of inventory and making sure that everything came and went appropriately. And I think it just that's a point to remember that he was elected unanimously.
Okay.
That's
I'll
how,
remember that.
Yeah, that's how.
Write that down, Greg.
How
got
loved
it.
this man was, and so he was definitely the most recognizable man in town. And all the while he's
Because
still
of his appearance, or just
well, he's a good old boy, a golden child. He's still organizing events at the church while holding this position.
does he give thumbs up or double guns?
He kisses babies, and
Nice.
he does two peace signs when he waves.
Okay, I like him.
So, according to the Cedar Key Times, the following year after his election, there was an economic downturn nationally. Taxes were being raised, and citizens were leaving Cedar Keys in droves with hopes of finding employment and success elsewhere. This once popular town saw its population decrease to just under 2,100 people.
From what?
8,000.
Wow. What's
So-
the percentage?
That's a lot. I would say that's a. Greg will get those numbers to us after the episode. The
please, please insert them so it sounds
into Google.
smart.
The remaining citizens, with despair in their heart, knew they needed a trustworthy leader to see them through these economic dark times. So that same year, the people of Cedar Keys once again unanimously elected William Cottrell as mayor of Cedar
Whoa,
Keys.
turn
Moving
this
up.
around.
He's moving on up. Just to mention, he never gave up his position as customs manager.
Okay,
or
so now he's
inspector.
got two roles.
So he's the
Now
mayor.
he owns the town.
He's still handling all the trade. He's
Nice.
still organizing events at the church. He's still getting elected unanimously, so he's still well loved. People
Okay.
love this
He's
guy.
still baptizing people,
He's still
Okay.
baptizing folks.
kissing babies.
He's he's the Obama of 1880.
I love it. I predict a man with such a holy heart will not be corrupted by anything.
Not at all.
No, there's no chance.
The story has a happy ending. So, in spite of all this, he continued to work tirelessly for the town, but there began to be cracks in his personality, and no one really knows if it was the pressure of having this new job as mayor and maybe all of this at once. But he would randomly just start disappearing and go on these unannounced vacations. They weren't planned, they weren't scheduled.
He was going to Mar-a-Lago.
He would just, it could be.
Or Freaknik.
To Freaknik down in Miami.
Yeah.
But he would be gone for 2 weeks at a time. And
Okay,
people would,
Freaknik's about 2 weeks.
people would just be like, well, where's the mayor? Where's William? We trust him. And, it's kind of odd that he's not around. But in spite of all of that, when it came time for re-election, he was re-elected as mayor.
Unanimously?
but this time only received 55% of the vote. And
Kinda
that
close that time.
Yes.
that pissed off William.
Where'd the other
Pretty
45% go?
well. William was not happy
Thank you for
with the
answering.
re-election. Re-election? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The re-election.
You
Only,
can put re on front of
We're
anything.
doing real good with words tonight.
yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
You can put re on. Try it. Put re in front of any word.
Re-dookie underwear.
Re-erection.
Yes. There you go. But he only got 55%. And so for most people, that's still, a majority of
I think
folks
for
in town.
everybody, that's a majority.
That counts.
Unless it's
I-
out of 1,000.
But I think whenever you've spent your whole life being elected unanimously,
Yep.
I guess that's a big hit to the confidence.
Definitely.
But he didn't take it very well, and so he officially started losing his mind. In the summer of 1889, William Cottrell closed the one road leading to and from Cedar Keys. He shut it down.
Okie dokie.
The railroad, which ran parallel to the main road, was also closed.
Okay. I guess being the
And
chancellor of imports and exports,
He
probably
shut
has
down.
that
He
control.
shut down every trade route that wasn't absolutely necessary for the town to survive.
you said this is 2,100 people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's basically being a mayor of 2,100 people is like being a principal at a high school almost.
Kind
I
of,
mean,
sort
like that's about the same amount of people.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and-
pretty small. Like if you think of it in that.
I mean, it's a port town, so they've got influence in the area. And so when he shuts down trade and shuts down travel, people outside start to notice, but not as much as people inside the town because they're the ones being really affected by it.
Yeah.
So at this point, he has shut everything down and he declares a meeting
Martial
that's
law.
mandatory in the town square. He said that people could no longer come and go as they please.
Okay. I like
And
them.
that you needed permission to leave your home after dark, and that under absolutely no circumstances could anybody leave Cedar Keys. And so he shuts down all communication. No one can come and go. And the following day, it's made clear
Okay.
that the vote to reelect him was public and that he knew every single person
Oh,
who
no.
voted against him, and they would have a difficult time living in Cedar Keys.
William is a great guy.
So the Duke of Trade, he
Is
now
so-
knows everybody that voted against him.
This, this sunshine of a
They're getting some dookie in their Uber
Ouch.
Eats.
Yeah.
Again, throwback.
So, I mean, this guy goes from golden boy to dictator, like basically overnight. The next day, he began employing his closest friends as a peacekeeping force
Okay.
to monitor the town's activities. And
Did they have badges that said SS on their arms?
Yeah, I was about to
Yikes.
say, I feel like it never ends happy when you have a peacekeeping force.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of the like post society, like dystopian future movies.
Yeah, this is going down the wrong road.
It's
I
always
mean,
like the peacekeeping force that's cracking heads. Yeah, so those are his best friends now, monitoring the street. This is where things get kind of weird.
Okay.
Oh, I think we were already
Yeah.
there.
We're gonna jump the shark a little bit. So when townspeople were going about their daily business, they would be forced at gunpoint to headbutt one another in the middle of the street until one
Is this
person
Hunger Games?
Yeah, until one person was knocked out or could no longer continue.
Okay. At the goat greeting. Yeah. Y'all haven't done that?
The whole goat fight.
Yeah, goat greetings.
So basically, if you're going about your daily business, walking through Cedar Keys, at any point in time,
Goat greeting now.
Yeah, a member of the peacekeeping,
Oh.
force would come up to you, guns pointed, and go, "You see that guy over there?
Go greet him.
Yeah, good. You got to headbutt him until one of you can't stand up anymore.
Now,
And if you don't do it, we're going to shoot you."
is the person that you're headbutting, are they aware, or can you surprise headbutt them?
I think they got called over too, and it was like a
my
It's like a
gosh.
dueling match. Like they had to back to back walk 15
Yeah.
paces and turn around and headbutt.
on three smash.
Now,
Yeah.
crown or forehead?
I don't know. I think the proper strategy is forehead.
Yeah. Or
I think
face.
the proper strategy is get out of Cedar Keys.
Yeah.
Well, I think you want to be taller so you can kind of aim down,
Get the-
like
get the
swing
right
down,
angle.
yeah, and get the momentum just to smush their head.
Nice. So it's like a joust
Yeah,
with your head.
good old fashioned head banging competition. I've been in a few of those.
Yeah.
I feel like
This seems like a weird thing to. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, It seems like a
No.
weird thing to
This sounds
put on
completely
a
normal.
town.
I feel like whenever you're a dictator, like just by default, like maybe rationing food
Yeah.
and the curfew, that makes sense as a dictator because you hear about that all the time. But just randomly going, hey, I need you to go headbutt that guy. And if you don't do it, we're going to shoot you. That's super weird. But it gets stranger.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Good.
know. I think this is pretty.
In other instances,
Strange.
Citizens were pulled from their homes in the middle of the night and forced to dance in the streets until they were given permission to return to their homes.
I mean, that's much better than headbutting.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pro dancing.
Well, these.
Wait, is this the movie Footloose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the third one, I think.
Well, these were done at gunpoint, basically. So you're
Yeah,
in
the
the middle of
third
the
one.
night, you were dragged out of your house, forced to dance in Times Square, and sometimes it would last until sunrise.
Without music.
I don't think there was music. That's what's
Okay.
fun. And so if you survived the headbanging, there's a really good chance you're going to be woken up in the dead of night, just like, hey, come dance.
Dance it out.
Yeah, this sounds.
What dance would you choose? I guess is the big question because you're going to be, you're at gunpoint, so you've
Well,
got
my
to.
only dance that I know is the sprinkler
Yeah,
by heart. I know that one by heart.
you do
Other
it-
ones I can watch and mimic, like a Zumba.
but can you do that for 8 hours until the sun
That's
comes
probably
up?
the easiest one to do.
After being headbutted all day.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't do like the worm, right?
Well, I never do the worm for personal reasons, but just religious reasons. I don't do that. But all the while this is
Do you want
happening,
to talk about it?
not on air.
Okay.
It's
Talk about it later.
It's a tough subject.
I guess so.
But all the while that this is happening, William Cottrell is still taking his random vacations. So it's his like kind of self-formed militia.
He gets out of town.
Yeah, they're the ones who are like, hey, headbutt, hey, dance, hey, do whatever we tell you to do. And William the dictator is still out taking vacations.
Hey, do you think he calls in to his peacekeeping friends? How many headbutters do we have today?
Yeah.
He's just keeping count. He's got like scratches in the walls.
Did they dance all night?
Yeah.
Like I like it.
Without music? Okay.
Well, see, there were secret letters that were being sent out from the town to the governor's office. And they're saying, like, hey, like, you've got to intervene somehow.
Yeah.
This guy shut down the town. He's making us do all this weird crap.
Obviously, this seemed like a prank letter to the governor.
Yeah, until the third one comes in and he's like, hey, investigate those headbangings down in Cedar Keys.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you put words in a hat to make the story.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like that a Mad Lib.
Yep, like a Mad Lib. How you pull all the words out of a hat.
Florida man
You're a
Mad Lib.
You just fill in the blanks.
Goat, headbutt.
And at midnight they would headbutt.
Dance in the street with no music. So the governor has his Secretary of State, Nathaniel Bloxham, reach out to Cedar Keys in order to figure out what's going on. But when Nathaniel reaches out to Cedar Keys, he's greeted by his good buddy, William Cottrell,
Oh.
who organized welcoming parties for Nathaniel the last time he came to
Nice.
visit. So he goes back to the governor and says, I don't know what's going on, but William's doing a bang up job, man.
All right. A
in this
bang-up
town.
job.
Nice. Yeah, he's crushing
Bang, bang.
it as mayor. He's doing a good
Crushing
job.
it.
Cedar Keys is thriving.
Yep.
So the governor goes, okay, I think these are just people who were just upset that their candidate did not win the election. So they're making up these false stories. So it continues.
He's a little headstrong. Bang, bang.
He's a little headstrong. So there was a small seed of hope for the townspeople. In 1890, a federal
They
customs
found out about
inspector-
helmets.
they started wearing
nice.
helmets.
Helmets 24/7.
Yep.
In 1890, a federal customs inspector by the name of F.H. Pinkerton came to Cedar
Uh-oh.
Keys
Uh-oh. Pinkerton's there.
to investigate why trading had all but stopped in the town. But upon arriving, William and his men arrested Pinkerton before roughing him up, stealing his clothes, putting him on a horse, and telling him to never return to Cedar Keys.
Okay, so Naked Man is leaving the keys on a horse.
Yes.
Can you do that to a Pinkerton?
I don't. If
I
this
don't
is
think
the
you can do
Pinkerton
that.
name that I think it is.
I mean,
Listen, here's the
I
thing.
think if you do that to one Pinkerton, you're sending a bunch more.
You can
right
starve
behind
your
him.
citizens,
Yes.
and you can force them to dance in the middle of the night, and you can
Yes.
force them to headbutt.
Yep.
But you can't rough up a federal inspector.
Pinkerton. No.
And that's where they draw the line. So 2 months later, let's see.
Cool. So they
For 2
took
months, he was wandering through Florida.
Well,
Yeah,
naked on his horse.
It's 1889, so transportation is still kind of slow. But 2 months later, under the order of the President of the United States, Benjamin Harrison, a Navy cutter ship carrying 75 armed soldiers landed at Cedar Keys with one mission: capture or kill Mayor William Cottrell.
Goodness. Not the end of the government you want to be on.
No, but there was one issue.
Sure that they're not there to get baptized?
No, there was one issue when they arrived. William was on vacation.
Goodness.
He wasn't there. So they searched the town. They tore apart the houses.
Nice.
They stayed for a week waiting for him to come back. Somehow he got word they were there. He found out that the United States Armed Forces are waiting for him back in Cedar Keys, so he simply never came back.
Okay.
Word began to spread. And
So they didn't do their research very well.
Yeah.
Busting doors down, not even there.
We'll figure it out when
Kind
we
of
get
give
there.
yourself away.
The townspeople defeated the army by headbutting him
Oh, no.
back to the ship.
So really, the mayor was just training this whole
He
time.
was preparing them
Yeah,
for
brain-
making an
brainwashing.
army.
a true libertarian.
I knew this story sounded familiar.
Well, he
The Goat Brigade defend Cedar Key.
exactly. So the word begins to spread nationally. There's this rumor of a dictator down in Florida, and so it's making national headlines, but no one really believes it because it's so wild and kind of far-fetched. But on December 5th, a full year later, William Cottrell turns up drunk and filthy in Montgomery, Alabama. He was arrested for drunken and disorderly conduct, but he posted bail immediately. And he went to the steps of the headquarters of the police department, and he swore vengeance on the chief of police,
Wow.
Adolph Gerald.
Okay.
And just like other Adolphs,
Not a popular name.
no, not at
Not
all.
a good name to have.
Adolph Gerald was a feisty
Gerald.
fella.
It's just a terrible name.
Yeah.
So he was challenged to a duel by William
Okay.
Cottrell.
My timeline is all messed up. I think it gets towards modern, and then I hear weird words.
Challenged to a duel.
Yeah.
So William Cottrell is currently drunk and filthy, and this is a year later. He's out on the
Still
steps
drunk and filthy.
of this police department, challenging the chief of police to a duel. And moments after the initial challenge, chief of police Gerald appeared on the steps and shot William Cottrell once in the chest and once in the face, killing him instantly.
Okay, well, that's
Wow.
not fair.
No, yeah, I was going to say, I was kind of imagining
A duel?
the chief, them walking, getting to their dueling
paces.
places.
Yep.
Chief of police goes for his gun. All of a sudden, you see Cottrell just lowering his head.
Oh,
And
no.
then an old
straight to
headbutt
him.
right in the chest.
Yeah.
It was there all along.
Misunderstood the dueling practices
This
in
is-
Alabama.
Now, I mean, I kind of feel bad for the guy.
Well, this guy was not to be trifled with. So the
I think it's truffled with.
truffled with. He loved chocolate. But the interesting thing was he didn't know who he shot. He just heard this guy challenging him to a duel out in the
Jeez.
front. So he walks out front like Grady Judd. And it's just like, hey, let's go. And bang, bang. So that's it for William Cottrell. And so after he had died, they realized who they had killed. And so the chief of police surrendered himself to the county sheriff, and he claimed self-defense. And the very next day, a coroner's inquest accepted his claim.
Okay.
And Cottrell's reign of terror was officially over. And in an air of celebration, the New York Times ran the headline, Dictator Mayor Cottrell killed at last. His people are free. And that is the story of how the Golden Boy
So
turned
they
into
still
a
weren't
dictator.
free after.
I think there were conflicting reports, but there were some reports that said that the U.S. Army never really left. There was always a
Nice.
presence there.
The peacekeeper army still going.
I
down
guess so, because I mean,
which is what you want, some more peacekeepers showing up.
yeah, well, when they get down there, they've got amateur peacekeepers making people headbutt each other.
Yeah.
And so they try to kind of reinstate the peace and order in this town. It's a shipping town. It's an important town in Florida.
We got that.
Yeah,
I wrote that down.
Good.
Imports, exports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else were you supposed to remember unanimously?
That somehow this is tied into one of them becoming the host of Wild and Crazy Kids.
Well, no, the lady from Sex and the City.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Kim.
Yeah.
That was her great grandfather.
Okay.
Was it really?
No,
Do you
wish.
know that for sure?
no,
would
we
be
don't
good.
know. So we'll just say it is.
Okay.
Probably is.
So what would you do? I think that's the big question. If you were in your home with your family sleeping,
Well, if I'm on a key, I assume it's an island, part of an island.
Mm-hmm.
I can swim. I'm just going to swim away from that island.
yeah, I'm tired of getting headbutted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the store and just
I'm
get challenged.
anti-headbutting.
Yeah, I've always been
Butt butting. Yes.
right. Butt to butt.
I mean, I would dance all night.
yeah,
Well,
I mean, I usually do.
yeah, that's the embarrassing part of this whole story.
he's dancing right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
in front of a live audience.
He's so sweaty.
VR.
I feel like it's been a really good week.
It has for me.
Yeah, this was the low point at this point of my week.
Yeah.
But
Presently,
yeah.
current.
Yeah.
Would you say?
I mean, I'm just really upset about Cottrell dying.
Yeah, I mean, if
I
someone
mean, I was really rooting for him.
I mean, a sheriff comes down, and I mean, he's got the goat on him
Old
right
Barney
there
Fife.
by pointing down on some stairs. I could shoot that.
Yeah, that's true.
I could shoot that with a rocket launcher.
I just
mean,
want
he never stood a chance.
I just want to know what he did for a year. It's not that far
He got dirty.
from Alabama to Florida. I guess it is. If he's down in the Keys.
Great vacation place, Montgomery.
Yeah.
It really is. So is Cedar Keys. It's much safer now.
I don't trust it.
No. You think they have goats on there?
Well, they
Oh,
do.
yeah.
No, I was gonna say some of the locals do say that if you go outside at just the right time at night,
Tell us.
you hear just a people's heads still knocking around in town.
Oh, I was expecting dancing.
Yeah.
Well, they do.
I
Dance.
thought the boots would be nice.
They do dance
Yeah,
to it.
boots knocking. Nice.
Goodness, this is a PG podcast.
Amen.
Well, it's been a good. It's been a good week.
We should probably close it out
Yeah, with a prayer.
with a joke from Cameron.
All right. Okay, how about a song from Cameron about Cedar Keys and the head bunting?
Yeah, please bless us with something.
There it is.
That was it.
Well, it's been good.
That may be trademarked though. You may want to play another one.
We didn't use it long enough. It's technically a sample.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Okay, sorry, I'm not in the music biz.
Sting, can you play us out?
Let's play that.